can fly also.
Charlotte Soccer Show. We are back with some bonus coverage. Johnny, how you doing on a beautiful Thursday afternoon? We're 1-0 still, right? We're still winners?
Feeling good, Danny. It's been a great week here in Charlotte. It's a winning week in Charlotte, and now it's time for the Crown to go on the road, and it's quite a long road trip this weekend for the club, Danny.
Longest of the year, and we're going to talk about it now with someone who knows all about long road trips in MLS. It's another special guest that we are proud and honored to be able to bring you. And it's someone, if you're a huge MLS fan, you know very well.
Kljestan finds space. Holden saw it early and said, why is he man on Kljestan around? And he's tied it! And he won the goal! 38 minutes! Sacha!
Way back to 2008, everybody please welcome Sacha Kljestan to the show.
Oh, what's up, guys? Thanks for having me. Two things. One of my favorite goals of my career, and the other thing is it's crazy to watch soccer in standard definition when we're watching 4K these days. That was a long time ago, but always fun to watch that goal. Thanks for having me, guys.
No doubt. And things look a lot more crystal clear on the Apple Season Pass, which we are proud and happy to be able to watch you on now, Sacha. You're on MLS 360. The whole new look. We got that started last week. It was I was at the Charlotte game, but I came back and rewatched the night to see like how you guys were doing it. Enjoy the new coverage. Want to hear about that. Want to talk to you about what you think of Charlotte, and want to talk to you a little bit about your career and some things like that. I'm glad we could flash it back for you all the way to the Chivas days. For anyone who doesn't know, Sacha played 5 years in MLS, then went to Belgium for around 5 or 6 years, won a few cups, won a few titles, played in the Champions League, came back to MLS, played for Red Bulls, which, played for Orlando, which, okay, and then, finished it out with the Galaxy. Played on both sides of Cali Classico. I mean, you're a legend, Sacha. Thank you. We're honored to have you.
I appreciate it. You sure know how to make a guy feel good, dude.
That's what Danny does to me all the time. It's a great thing to hang around Danny all the time.
Hype man, dude. This is the wingman I needed when I needed to go on a night out, dude. Someone to just hype you up all the time.
I've been known.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to have you on the show. I've got a lot of stuff that I want to chat with you about. I really appreciate your national coverage of the sport. I think you lend such a great perspective, and I thought something that was interesting. We want to talk about TV. Danny and I have had a career in television production, and we dabble a little bit in writing. So I just want to start with writing, right? I went on MLSsoccer.com and I saw that you're putting pen to paper this season and writing a bit. How's that feel? And are you enjoying that process?
I am. Listen, it's my first article. They offered to ghostwrite it, like have me just talk to somebody and they would write it for me. And I was like, no. If I'm going to write this thing, I want to write it myself. I want to take the time. I want to make it my own. But what's really prepared me for that is for the last 2 years, I've been commissioner of the Red Bulls Alumni Fantasy Football League. every Tuesday morning, I write up a recap of the whole weekend of all the guys and, chatting shit, talking trash and all the guys in the league. And that's really prepared me for being a writer. And so here I am, a little article that'll come out probably every Monday on the MLS website, Stock Up, Stock Down, where I take stock of what I've watched in the league that weekend. And I hope everybody enjoys it and gives us some stuff to talk about.
Well, then hopefully we can get an Enzo Capetti stock up here at some point. I'm hoping that we don't see a stock down. I mean, I'm not saying it's not possible.
He should have taken that penalty.
Yes.
Thank you, Sacha.
Yes.
It's almost like you listened to our Sunday show, because I went on an epic rant in that we're on two extremes here. Last season, Enzo was trying to just rip the ball from Karol Swiderski, and this season he's giving it away. Let's just land in the middle somewhere.
So I didn't get to actually see what happened. Was there like a discussion over the ball, or did Kerwin Vargas just go grab it and take it? Did you guys see what happened?
The handball took a chance away from Kerwin. Like the ball was just about to fall to Kerwin's feet, so the handball kind of took it away. So he kind of gave the puppy dog look over to Enzo, and Enzo's like, "You're my little bro. Go ahead and take it." But we had Bradley Wright Phillips, your buddy here, last week, and he predicted Enzo Copetti Golden Boot. You're not going to get the Golden Boot by giving away penalties. Buddy.
No, I mean, this is exactly right. We saw the same thing at the LA Galaxy on Sunday. Dejan Joveljic is the striker. This guy's 14 for 15 in his career on penalties. Ricky Puig is 3 for 6. I mean, if you're the striker, you got to go rip that ball and be like, I'm going for the Golden Boot. I want my striker grabbing that ball, putting it in the back of the net.
Well, I'm glad we're talking about Copetti because he's a second-year player. And I thought one of the interesting segments y'all did recently on MLS Countdown, where you dove into the research, you looked up the analytics, and you really put out what I thought was a really great argument that a second-year bump in MLS does exist. And Charlotte FC, I'm going through the roster, I'm looking at Enzo Copetti, Ashley Westwood, Brecht Dejaegere, Scott Arfield, Patrick Agyemang, a lot of guys on this squad who have 1 year under their belt heading into their sophomore season. Who do you think could benefit the most from this second year in MLS on the squad right now?
Copetti is the one. He is the guy that has to carry the load for this Charlotte team. Bradley and I watched a lot of video of Copetti, and Bradley, he's the striker, so he recognizes things a little bit more than me, but he sees the movement and the desire from Copetti that can get him goals. My worry is the service, is about the chance creation right now that Charlotte has. They got rid of Swiderski, they got rid of Jóźwiak. Those are DP players. Now you have open DP spots. They have to go out and get players that are of high quality that can support Copetti in the attack. But he certainly is capable of getting the goals. He's shown the desire. He's shown the movement. I worry about the chance creation.
Makes sense, but we also have another second-year player, Brecht Dejaegere, who's going to do the chance creation, right? Hopefully. Yeah,
look, I played against Brecht in Belgium. I know him. He's a solid player. I think if you're comparing him to other attacking midfielders in MLS, like, this is the league of the 10, right? Like, I could name 10 top-tier number 10s that are more high quality than Brecht Dejaegere right now. So he has to level up his game. Yes, he's in his second year as well. A lot of these guys are in their second year, which is important because now they understand the league, they understand the travel, they understand who they're playing against. But I also think Dean Smith will simplify things for them. On MLS 360, we only get to see bits and pieces of games. It's hard to analyze an entire 90-minute game. But
EWP talked about that for sure.
What I saw from Charlotte, though, in the moments we watched, when we were able to watch 3 minutes at a time here and there, was just the energy of the team. It seemed like they were pressing together, that they were working really hard, being hard to play against, and also just being organized, which I think under the previous coach, Latanzio, it was almost like too much, inverted fullbacks. And sometimes soccer players just need to be told, this is what you got to do, and simplify it. And I think Dean Smith is doing that. So it could spell some success for Charlotte this season, but I still think they need a few more quality attackers on the field.
Yeah, I agree that they do for sure, and I think the fan base does too. Sacha, I mean, we were waiting and sitting around, doing the thing on social media that every admin hates, just blowing up the social handles, like new signings ?
Yeah.
And this fan base did that for a while, and I think there's potentially some things to come throughout the summer. But you mentioned the energy, right? And when you took that window into Bank of America Stadium on the show, we call it the Fortress, and we call the supporter section the Keep, just to keep with the Crown theme. And, I thought it was interesting that you pointed out in your article that only one MLS team lost at home in match week 1.
Yeah.
And Charlotte hasn't lost a home game in 11 games across all competitions at this point. What do you think about the atmosphere that Charlotte FC supporters have created at the Fortress? And is it becoming possibly one of the most difficult road atmospheres in MLS?
It's amazing. I played in the first game at that stadium with the LA Galaxy. Of course,
no big deal.
We won 1-0, but that was a night I'll never forget. Just the entire day, we wake up. It's a long day when you're waiting for a night game, right? So me and a couple buddies would always walk through the city, try to find a coffee shop. It seemed like every person in the city was wearing Charlotte FC gear and wearing that teal blue color. And I just thought that was amazing because you never know what to expect when an expansion team comes in. But the fan support has been fantastic. Every time we take a shot of those fans behind the goal on the show, it gives me goosebumps because, I mean, I remember you saw the footage at the beginning of the show. I played when there were only 12 teams in MLS. 12. It's wild to think about. Like, we would play all the teams 4 times, and I never thought we'd be playing in Charlotte in front of 60,000 fans and them going crazy and being knowledgeable about the game. Like, I don't know if this was planned. I don't know if you guys were there for that first game against the Galaxy, but the mic went out on the guy who was singing the national anthem, and the rest of the crowd just picked it up and sang it. And that's like one of my favorite memories just of being in a stadium. Like, how cool was that? I was like, so from day one, Charlotte has been awesome, and I love that they've been a great addition to the league.
Yeah, we were there, and despite the result, and despite your involvement in that result, it was still a great evening. It's one of those nights where it's one of those times in sports where the result really didn't matter.
No, it really didn't. And even for us, like, I got back in the locker room. Yeah, it was a great road win for us to start the season, but it was also like, wow, this was awesome. Everybody who was here tonight's always going to remember this forever. And so that was very cool.
Yeah. And not just, I got to correct you, it was 70,000, not 60,000. MLS record. And Efrain Alvarez did us dirty. And, just in fair play, I actually got his name wrong when we were talking about it before the show, and you corrected me. So I can get things wrong too. So, but the one thing I want to say, just thank you as a Charlotte fan for that night, even though you guys did us dirty with the loss, crazy goal. That night also, you did a jersey exchange with Chris Haggart, which is, he's no longer with the club, but he was a player that a lot of fans really loved because he played for the Charlotte USL team in the year before Charlotte FC got started. So Haggart had a lot of local love around here, and the jersey exchange you did, and just like the fact that you had gone to visit him when he was a patient back in the hospital. Lots of coverage on that. Anybody that doesn't know the story can go find out more. But I just want to thank you as a Charlotte FC fan. That was such a class move.
Oh, I appreciate that, man. That was fun for me too. That so many times as a player, I've said this story so many times now, but you get asked to do hospital visits or appearances, and you meet sick kids sometimes, and you never hear from them again. You never know, like, did they make it or. Anyway, so to run into his mom and dad in the hotel lobby, the night before the game, and then get to see him on the pitch, and he actually came into the game and played the last few minutes, that was a real full circle moment. And, I'm just excited to watch him continue his young career as well.
Chris is one of those guys too, where it's like, he's a professional soccer player, but and I think you probably experienced this, and maybe it's soccer in general, but the ability to connect with the community and just kind of be a down to earth guy.
Yeah,
right? You play in front of 70K, and
seemed like a great dude. I actually felt bad that all the hoopla surrounding him and I after that game and leading up to the game focused on him, that he was sick when he was a kid. And I think he just wants to be a soccer player at this point.
He's such a great player. Yeah, right, exactly. He's out in Norway. He's playing with Bob Bradley out in Norway now.
Yeah, I saw that. That's awesome. So I really wish him all the success in the world, and I hope he has 100%. A great career.
Great kid. Well, let's talk about, we only got another couple minutes here. So before you take off on us, Sacha, let's talk about this trip out. The home field advantage is great for the Crown, but we got to take our longest road trip of the year. I think it's just under 3,000 miles, Charlotte to Vancouver, British Columbia, the far reaches of the league, but it's beautiful there. Maybe not in February. What do you think? What's the biggest thing Dean Smith needs to worry about as he adjusts to this new league? He's a Premier League manager. For him, his shortest road trip is his longest road trip in the Premier League days is like our shortest trip over here. So what's he not ready for on a 3,000-mile road trip?
Well, I mean, the time difference for sure. I don't know if they're flying out today or tomorrow. I would assume they're going to fly today to try to spend one day getting adjusted to Vancouver. That's one. I think just having your guys ready to play. And it's not going to be the same as when you're playing at home. The energy that you have is not the same when you're playing on the road. To be honest, the crowd in Vancouver is not as rowdy as it is in Charlotte. So it's a different atmosphere. So you have to have yourself internally ready to play from the first moment. And Vancouver's a pretty good team. Listen, they made the playoffs. They're in CONCACAF Champions Cup. They gave a good run to Tigres. They've got some quality players in Ryan Gauld, running that attacking midfield spot.
Scottish Messi.
He the Scottish Messi. I love that. The working man's DP, as Vanni Sartini called him.
What a great title.
Yeah. So I think, just tactically a little bit different than NYCFC as well, playing in kind of like that 3-4-1-2 formation. But, Dean Smith's seen everything. He's an organized guy. I'm sure he's going to set the team up to be successful.
I'm pumped to see this match. I think it's a really fun opportunity for Charlotte. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, because the odd number of teams in MLS, this is Vancouver's opening game of the season.
Yeah, they didn't play in week 1. So it's also a little bit like we didn't get to see them last week. So what are we really expecting out of Vancouver? So we'll, it's a little bit harder, I think, for Dean Smith to plan for, but we'll see.
And
they did get
you?
eliminated from Champions Cup.
They did. Yes, they did. But they've had time off. I think they had a friendly last weekend, and they've had plenty of time off to prepare for this match. That's one thing I'm worried about. But what can we expect from you this weekend?
This match is the free stream on Apple. If you're not a subscriber and you're wondering, jump on. You can watch Charlotte FC for free on Apple Season Pass this week.
Yeah. So I want to know, just like as for you, Sacha, right? It's we're doing this interview Thursday afternoon. What's the rest of the weekend look like for you? Like when are you going to be in the studio, and how does that schedule work?
So my week now, I'll tell you, leading up Wednesdays, we shoot the show This Is MLS. I shoot it here from home. This is my little home studio.
That's good.
Right after I get off the phone with you guys, I've got a meeting for about an hour and a half where we talk about all the storylines leading into the weekend for the MLS Countdown show and MLS 360, which I'll be on Saturday night. And then tomorrow afternoon around 2 o'clock, I fly to New York. I get into New York late at night, Friday night, grab a bite to eat. Saturday morning, I go play soccer down in Chinatown in what's called the Bowery Premier League, which is very fun, 6v6 league. And then I'm in the studio around 3 o'clock on Saturday, and I'm usually done around 1 in the morning on Sunday morning, Saturday night when all the games wrap up. And then I fly home Sunday morning, do it all again next week.
Amazing. Wow. Yeah, I mean, if you love soccer, you got to sign up for a schedule like that.
I mean, I'm pretty lucky, man. I'm semi-retired. I get to walk my kids to school every day. I live in Southern California. It's beautiful. And then on the weekends, I get to watch literally every single goal from Major League Soccer go in and react to it and talk soccer. Got the best job in the world, guys. Besides being a player, I do miss that.
I love it. Well, we won't keep you from that production call because I know in my world I deal with that all the time. And if the on-air people show up, everyone's making fun of them when they're late. So I won't let that happen. And thank you so much for joining us. Can't believe what a great time this was, and I hope you'll come back.
Yeah, that flew by. I had a great time chatting soccer with you guys, and we'll join you again soon.